Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. Today, we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings potentially trading for quarterback Trey Lance. As one of the biggest talks in the NFL today has been around Trey Lance and his future. As you know, early this morning, there was reports that the 49ers are getting calls from multiple teams about the young QB that was the former third overall pick in 2021, and three teams that are looking to be interested. The two top teams are the Titans and the Vikings, and also the Texans are another team that has potential interest. I already made a video about the Texans, potentially trading for Trey Lance. As a Texans fan myself, got to talk about that. But I'm going to go on a different state of, mind of the Minnesota Vikings, point of view of their potential trade for Trey Lance and their potential quarterback of the future. So the Vikings are very interested in bringing in Trey Lance to be their quarterback, but their quarterback for what? That's the question. Is he their quarterback for next season, or is he the backup for next year? And then once Kirk Cousins is gone, Trey Lance becomes the guy. I like this. I like this trade for the Vikings. Whatever. It's a great move. Doesn't matter if Trey Lance, God forbid, he's the backup for 2 seasons. It's still a good move, and that's not going to happen because I think Kirk Cousins, if not nothing, because if we're being realistic, the Vikings possibly could trade for Trey Lance and then flip Kirk Cousins somewhere else. That's probably not going to happen, but that could possibly happen. So not only does Kirk have a chance of not even playing another snap with the Minnesota Vikings, but I don't see him after next season wearing the Minnesota uniform again. I think Trey Lance, if brought in by the Minnesota Vikings, most likely will sit for the 2023 season. Let that ankle heal, learn from Kirk Cousins, work a little bit with Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne, 2 young wide receivers who have a lot of potential in this league. Well, Justin Jefferson is, Justin's already a superstar. He has nothing to prove. But KJ Osborne, he had a really good 22 season. Now Adam Thielen is gone from the Vikings, and I think that could really change for KJ Osborne. I think KJ Osborne for the Minnesota Vikings next season is going to have a hell of a season for that team. So you have a nice wide receiver core, you have some nice running backs, you have a decent, solid defense. So I think that just the environment for Trey Lance is really nice in Minnesota. Just the question is, when is he taking his first snap? Is it next season, or is it 2024 once Kirk Cousins is gone, leaves in free agency, they let him walk in free agency? I think most likely he would be the backup. Like I said, let his ankle heal, learn from Kirk Cousins, be on the sidelines for an extra year. I know it sucks because, he's been, how many years? His rookie season, he sat most of the year on the sideline learning from Jimmy G. Then 2022, last season, supposed to be his year. Then he breaks his ankle. He has to watch Brock Purdy and Jimmy G take the role of the team. And then now potentially next year with wherever he is, if he stays in San Francisco and watches Brock Purdy potentially be the quarterback, or if he goes to Minnesota and is the backup there, he will have to be a backup for the 3rd straight year. But I can guarantee you this: if they wait a year and let Trey Lance, like I said, let that ankle heal, learn for Kirk Cousins, and work and build a relationship with KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson, I truly believe Trey Lance with the Minnesota Vikings, and not anybody else. As a Texans fan, I'm not trying to say this in anything bad way, or as a team that's in my division, I don't hate the Titans. They're a solid team. I like Derrick Henry. I don't think Trey Lance would have the success with the Houston Texans or the Tennessee Titans that he would have compared to what he could have with the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's a perfect fit for their organizations, or for the two sides, for Trey Lance and for the Vikings. It's perfect. I think it's personally, in my opinion, I think it's perfect for Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne. I think it's perfect for Trey himself. I think it'd be a perfect move. And let's get into what the Vikings would have to give up. So I'm thinking that obviously the 49ers are not stupid. They're not going to get a first-round pick. So they could be in the idea of asking for a second, and maybe 2 to 3 picks, with including that second, or third, possibly second pick, probably second round, maybe a second round pick, or really really early third round pick, but with like 2 other picks with that third round pick. But the difference with the second round pick would be that they'd probably only get 1 pick with that second round pick. Let's go over what I have the Minnesota Vikings giving up for Trey Lance. So I have the Minnesota Vikings giving up a fifth round, a 4th round pick in this year's draft, which is 119th overall. The Vikings don't have any second round picks in this year's draft. So then I had the Vikings giving the 49ers a future second round pick for the 2024 NFL draft. So the 49ers would get a 4th round pick, which is 119th overall selection in this year's draft. And they would also get the Vikings 2024 second round pick. So I think, for the 49ers, that's a decent haul for Trey Lance, who, yes, he's the former 3rd overall pick and could really have a lot of potential. But, the Vikings, they can't take a heavy chance on him, and especially he's not going to even probably be their starter for the first year that he's under contract with the Vikings. But I think after that, first year that he's potentially the backup with the Vikings, if this trade happens, I think that, the sky's the limit for Trey Lance with the Minnesota Vikings if that trade happens. I think great things would be for him and for their organization. And that's really it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy, learn thoughts, and peace out.